little worse for wear. After the storm, it got soaking wet, dropped, and came back and there's bees. And it looks like she's okay in there. Hi, Susan from Butts Bees, and in this video I'm going to open one of my swarm traps that caught some bees. If you look back at some of my other videos, I show you how to build a very cheap swarm trap, and it works. So I'm going to open this up. I expect some problems because this particular trap, as you can see, is worse for wear. It went through a tropical depression where we got about 10 inches of rain. So hit the subscribe button and then the bell, get your gear, and let's see what this goes on. This trap, again, went through 10 inches of rain. It's very soggy. She was coming out a few different places. And now I just want to open her up and see. I did hear jiggling. A frame may have dropped. In this particular box, there's 8 frames. So I was trying to give her somewhere to build. But again, if they drop because the box got soggy and 10 inches of rain, what do you do? They've been in here 3 or 4 days, but I don't know when they got in there. So for me, when I know she's been in there 3 or 4 days. We were out of the apiary for about 3 days because of the rains. So assuming then she's in about 6 days. And there's some comb. And you can save a lot of this comb if you do foundationless, or at least use some of your frames that are foundationless. A little bit, but yeah, it fell. You can see that this sat upright, but because of the rains, these fell. And I can feel their breeze, so they're still in there. If I can get a better shot. They're still in there, regardless of them being squished down there. So I'm going to do the best that I can and try to. And this is actually the first, maybe second time I've actually had frames fall. But like I said, geez, 10 inches of rain, what are you going to do? The most important part here would be, as I'm taking it apart, don't squish the queen. My secondary, my 10 frame here can go on, and I can put her, whatever drawn frame she's got in there. Now I know why she was so close to the entrance. putting up nectar, which is great. Here's my little swarm lure. The trick is never to try to roll your queen. And that goes for any of your swarm traps as well. Anytime you're working with a cleaned hive, try not to roll her. So this was a frame that I threw in there just to give them somewhere to draw from. I don't see her here. It's a pretty crappy frame, but hey, it had old wax on it. I tend to use some older frames when I do a trap. One, because it has the black comb, and two, I have hives with known queens that I prefer to give my equipment to. Let's see if I can change the angle. So there you can see inside. I gave her old comb. She started a new comb. It's a nice little hive. And the next one I pull is going to be old comb that just helped attract them. If you put dark comb in. This one here. Try not to squish anybody. There she is. Okay. Again, dark comb. They didn't do anything with this. That's fine. It gives them somewhere to stay. Once I get them in, I can give them better comb. This is the wax they made. That's a nice frame. It's all worker comb. So, let me see if I see the eggs. Definitely larvae and eggs. So that tells me that she's there for at least 5 days, because some of the larvae hatched. Like I said, she wasn't in there long, but she's in there. Would I love to see the queen? Yep. But at this point, the objective is getting her out of that box where she can do her work. Sorry if all that was blurry. Where she can do her work in the confines of one of my hives and make it comfy, cozy, and easy for her. So this is her 10 frame where she's going. And like I said, the crappy frames, they'll go in there until I get all the bees in there. Anything that they're on is going in. It makes it easy. If they were drawing a whole bunch of drone comb, I definitely would want to see the queen. Hot out. Very hot. Come on, go, go, go. Now, that comb to me is not worth me saving as far as that, because honey is really hard to rubber band in or tie in. If there was a lot of larvae or anything, I would definitely save it, but honey, I can always feed them, and so my objective is to get them out of the box into a more comfortable situation and into a producing hive. So what do you do with the rest of the bees in the box? Well, in this situation, in this case, the box looks rather torn up, so I'm going to take all the rest of the frames out, the existing wax, and let them come out on their own. And that's because I don't want any of that hive beetle dust, wax moth dust, anything that's dusty down there on them. If I caught them sooner, if the frames had not fallen, they'd be a lot cleaner and I could dump it. But this is a dirtier catch. So I'm gonna just try to let them crawl out, set them right up on each other, and they'll go to the queen eventually. So this is the inside, no frames, all the frames are out. The queen is not always on the frames that you remove. And I don't know that I didn't put her there, but it is an idea that everyone should keep in mind. That's why kind of shaking the bees in sometimes can jostle her. She'll go flying and then you just lost everything you just worked your butt off to catch. And regardless of your type of hive. So you can just try to let them go in there. Gently turn it on in, try to coax them in. But you can see on the sides, that's a lot of bees, and she could be in there. So do take a look. You will see her, generally. The bigger the swarm, obviously, the harder it is to find her. But this here is all this hive beetle and wax moth. So I don't really want to dump that in there. Okay, so the frames all had some girls on them. You can shake them off. to fly in because they're not sure what happened. So unless I have her in there. Like I said, always keep your eyes open. That's why you improve your queen vision. The next step would be, this is where I put her. So I'll move her box. And I'll put her hive there. That way they can definitely find each other. This is when you're pushing and you don't want to push too quick that a queen can't move out of the way. It happens. Trying to give them the right comb. Eventually I might even build them by stealing a frame of brood, because we're going into the dearth, which is the mid-June through July. Stuff blooms, but there's no flow. She has no stores, so I'm gonna have to steal some stores. She should be okay on brood. Now, everyone that does get shook out of the box has somewhere to go. This is the swarm lure. Now, I would love to just leave it here and have them come out, but I don't think that that's really going to happen. And I can't really grab them, they're just running off my hand. Here in the south, I've got hive beetle like crazy. I'm in a pine forest that tends to like make it easy for them. And here, she's not in the shade, but boy, hive beetle really like the shade. All I'm trying to do is get them in there without that dust. Okay, so what I did was I cleaned out some of the dust. I'm still going to have to shake them in because it takes too long and I got to go to work with another apiary. So, you can bang them, get them loose. They're gonna run. They're running. They're trying to get back in. You want to be looking for your queen because that's where they really want to go. Once that box with the pheromone that she's there is gone, they will return here. But because it's so close, if you keep leaving your trap close, yuck, if you leave your trap close, then they're not gonna go, they're gonna go right there. And you're gonna say, hey, I did everything you said. No, you gotta get that trap out of there. Even if you leave it for 10 minutes trying to get them over, you've eventually gotta get it out of there. And then you can let them settle, take the pheromone away, and wipe it on some of the bars just so they know where they're at. This is old, it shouldn't even be, they're still on it, so. And basically, that's it. You've just hived your swarm. You're good to go. Give her a couple of days to settle down. Like I said, she's gonna need at least a frame of honey to get going again. Give her resources and don't be afraid to share. If you're keeping a clean apiary and you know your other hives, don't be afraid to share. Give her a way to get going, otherwise why'd you catch her? So, there you go. If you like what you saw and you want to know more, leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see. Subscribe and hit the bell. Let's be friends. And happy beekeeping.